You say that don't like them, but I see you all the time. Creep shit. You say that don't like them, but I see you all the time. Creep shit. You say that don't like them, but I see you all the time. Creep shit. You say that don't like them, but I see you all the time. Creep shit. You say that don't like them, but I see you all the time. Creep shit. You say that don't like them, but I see you all the time. Creep shit. You say that don't like them, but I see you all the time. Creep shit. You say that.
What's up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. Look who I have here. I have as my co-host, Mr. Max Paul, aka Mighty, owner of the Florida Storm. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share some of your spotlight today.
Hey, man, you've been one of the most supportive people of my podcast. You always have been ever since I started. So it was only right that I have you on and just help, share the love, so to speak.
Awesome.
All right. So tonight we have a fantastic show for you. We will be reviewing week 7. I'll be selecting my picks for week 8, and Mighty will help me to make those decisions by giving me his thoughts on how both teams will fare. And then my 4th and goal interview will feature Mr. Trellis Blanton, new rookie quarterback for the Albuquerque Adams. And he's also a crisis counselor. He saw my mental health video and was stoked about coming on the show to kind of offer his advice and just some things about what it is to be a crisis counselor. So it's going to be some interesting stuff. Can't wait to get to it. All right. And now our picks for, our week 7 review. All right. So, Mighty, we had some fantastic games that happened on Saturday and Sunday. Would you agree?
Yes, we did. What was that Mike likes to say? Any given sim day. So that this past weekend was a lot of that. A lot of exciting finishes. And as we go through our list of games, I'll get to, add my 2 cents as to what I saw, what I liked, what I didn't like, and the like.
And I love it. I love every minute of it. All right, first up, this past Saturday, Denver Nightwings took on the Portland Fleet, and Denver won 30-24. They were at the shipyard, and Denver had 216 yards passing, 185 yards rushing, for a total of 401 yards. Time of possession was 25 minutes and 59 seconds with 4 turnovers. Portland Fleet had 118 yards passing, 154 yards rushing, with 272 yards total. Their time of possession was 17 minutes and 19 seconds with only 2 turnovers. So give us your thoughts on this game.
The Portland defense was very opportunistic this game. One of the reasons why they were able to hang around, they forced Josh Miller into 4 mistakes. Forced 4 turnovers, which in turn give them some shorter fields and rob Denver of some opportunities to be able to score and kind of build a bigger lead. But Denver had a fantastic 4th quarter goal line stand with Portland having a chance to steal the game, to take the lead, with under a minute left. But Denver stood tall. Portland's lack of 3rd down conversions was the tail of the game, at least to me. The fact that they were only able to convert 2 of their 12 attempts is a big reason why they weren't able to, keep drives going, able to turn certain drives that might, that ended in punts into maybe field goal attempts or even touchdowns attempts. So great job by Denver's defense there. forgot to write this down in my notes, but great job, rookie running back. 150 yards. I saw that one counter. He had a 50-yard run where he had a counter play, shook someone in the backfield, gave another one the dead leg, and was off to the races. Great job, young man. Great job. I can't wait to see more of that coming from you. But yeah, big ups to Portland. Valiant effort, but Denver was just too strong in that on that goal line stand and was able to eke out that win.
2 yards shy, man. 2 yards shy of a possible victory. But as always, next week, player of the game was halfback Jared McChesney with 35 attempts, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, and 44 reception yards. Also on Saturday, the Louisiana Revolution took on the Houston Hyenas in the Hyena Den. And the Hyenas won 27-14. Passing for Louisiana was 269 yards. Their running was only 42 yards. And the total yardage was 311. Their time of possession was 13 minutes and 34 seconds with 4 turnovers. Houston had 299 yards passing, 57 yards rushing, but only 356 yards total. Their time of possession was 24 minutes and 26 seconds with 2 turnovers. So, Monty, it looks like they were able to stifle Houston was able to stifle Louisiana's offense pretty good to pick up this win.
Well, Louisiana had an 8-7 lead around the middle of the second quarter, and that's when kind of Houston took charge of the game and went on a 17-0 run. This was the E.T. King show. E.T. King threw for 274 yards for 79%, complete 79% of his passes. Yes, he had 2 interceptions, but he had 2 big touchdowns that, kind of gave Houston the cushion that they needed. Houston's D kind of balled out this game too. They forced Johnny Pickle into 4 picks. They held Reggie Streeter to under 3 yards per carry. And I believe this is Houston's 5th straight game to hold opponents under 30. And now most people are under 30. That's not pretty impressive. If your defense is able to keep you in the game, which Houston's defense is doing now, it gives you a chance for your offense to do something late, to change the outcome or even to get you into the game, because the game is still closely contested as opposed to you getting your doors blown off. So big ups to Houston D for doing a great job there.
Definitely. Player of the game was wide receiver, downtown Leroy Brown. 7 receptions, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 17 yards per catch. Now, third game on Saturday was the Vancouver Legion taking on the Jacksonville Kings. And Vancouver won 37-24. In the Kings' lair, so at Jacksonville, the passing for Vancouver was 421 yards. They had 23 yards rushing. Total, 444 yards. Their time of possession was 26 minutes and 16 seconds with 1 mistake. Jacksonville, on the other hand, had 266 yards passing, 72 yards rushing, 338 yards total. They only held the ball for 17 minutes and 44 seconds with 2 mistakes. What did you think about this game?
Vancouver. I don't know what Andy Hamilton is feeding Tom Pepper, but Tom Pepper is on a tear. This game, he came in with, I guess, a point to prove, because, Vancouver was on a 3-game skid. There was some murmurs around the league, like, yeah, Vancouver might not be as strong as we think they are. And Tom Pepper said, not so fast, my friend, and threw the whole Legion squad on his back and said, I got y'all boys. 82.2% completion, 421 yards, 3 touchdowns, no INTs. Jump out to 24-0 lead in the Kings' lair. You know how hard that is? I know. I've been there many times. Many times. You don't go down there and get a 24-0 lead on that squad ever. So, big up to the Vancouver Hamiltons and Tom Pepper doing his thing and staking his claim on this MVP race that's going on. And he's saying, hey, don't forget about me. I'm still here doing big things. And Vancouver is on pace, as Cam has said in the weekly recap, on pace to have the most potent passing offense since the season 11 Dallas Roughnecks that, featured Shabazz Synergy, who we'll talk about a little further down, a little later in this presentation.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, kudos to Tom, because he was also player of the game. Quarterback And he had 37 completions out of 45 attempts, 421 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a QBR rating of 127.9. Awesome job, y'all. Also on Saturday, St. Louis Gladiators took on the Florida Storm, and Florida won 27-10 in the eye. Now, St. Louis had 252 yards passing and 102 yards rushing for 354 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes and 3 seconds with 2 mistakes. On the other hand, Florida had 281 yards passing, 100 yards rushing for 381 yards total. Time of possession was 22 minutes and 57 seconds with 2 turnovers. So tell me, Mighty, how did y'all win this game?
Seeing that this is the game that, we scouted the entire week, we thought there are certain things we could take advantage of. St. Louis, great. When I say they're well coached, man, there's certain things I didn't expect to see that they put together to kind of stymie some of the things that I thought we would be able to take advantage of. So they, that's kind of why Bullet struggled. Their defense came prepped to play. Big ups to Drew Riley. Don't want to screw his the head coach's name and Nick Warner, former Storm Nick Warner, who's now the defense coordinator. They put together one heck of a game plan to stymie Bullet. Our rookie extraordinaire at running back. But I don't know if they forgot that we have another back who's kind of good. He's a meme in the general chat, I know. But, yeah, he's no slouch. So, we had a Doyle surge in that fourth quarter. We scored 21 unanswered to kind of pull away late. But Phil Koss, their tight end. Oh, I had to give him his props after the game. Pain in the butt. He had 3 catches for 141 yards and a score. That gave them the lead that extended their lead in the third quarter of that game. So big ups to Phil Koss, big up, man. St. Louis, I am liking what I'm seeing and what y'all got going on over there. It is long overdue. We've been around the same amount of time, and I'm glad to see that they finally got some pieces and coaches that are putting 2 and 2 together and making this team not just viable but extremely competitive. Big up Gladiators. Good luck the rest of the season.
Fantastic. Now, player of the game was fullback J.W. Doyle with 4 attempts, 66 yards, 1 touchdown, 35 reception yards, and 1 reception touchdown. So congratulations on that win.
Oh, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And on Saturday, Tulsa Desperados took on the Mexico City Aztecs. I always got to do the neck roll with that. I don't know.
Go ahead. I ain't stopping you.
And fortunately, if I was picking this game, I would have probably chose Tulsa, but I didn't do any picks this week. So Mexico City took home the win with 48-35. Tulsa had 448 yards passing, but only 29 rushing. Total yardage was 477 yards. Their time possession was 28 minutes and 58 seconds with 4 turnovers. Mexico City had 354 yards passing, 62 yards rushing for 416 yards total. They held the ball for 15 minutes and 2 seconds with 1 mistake. So it seems as though Mexico City had the right game plan. They won in less time, and they were able to stifle the running game of the Tulsa Desperados. So what did you think about this game?
This game here was a nip-tuck ball game until the third quarter, where Mexico City erupted for 21 unanswered points. JQ, that boy is a baller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But JQ, give it. He had 4 touchdowns, almost 450 yards, slinging that ball all over the place. Gabriel Manning had a $199 and 2 scores. But also, JQ, take it away. The 4 interception loomed large. Because I'm pretty sure they were in the game and had a chance. He gave them a chance with the touchdowns. And then though in that fourth quarter, they had a 21-point surge of their own in the fourth quarter. But it was one of those too little, too late because they had dug so big a hole, But big ups to Mexico City. I see it sneaking under the radar. No one's talking about Mexico City, but I know them boys down there. Always contenders.
Ramos.
Always competitive. You know what I'm saying? Ramos and Ray Bentley and Phoenix Jones down there.
Yeah.
Always in there. They got a super rookie at defensive tackle looking like a young big sexy and that Dan Truitts, you know. So yeah, Mexico City, I see y'all. I see y'all.
Mexico City defended their home turf well, so much so that halfback Phoenix Jones was the player of the game with 16 attempts, 62 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 86 yards. Awesome. Now, the last game of the evening was the DC Dragons taking on the Lone Star Glory. And DC won. I believe this is their first win, right?
Yes, it was. It was their first win.
Wow.
Hard-earned, well-earned win.
Yes. And their passing for DC was 285 yards. They had 186 yards rushing for 471 yards total. Their time of possession was 23 minutes and 56 seconds with 2 mistakes. The Glory had 287 yards passing, 65 yards rushing, 352 yards total. They held the ball for 20 minutes with 2 mistakes as well. They also had a beautiful tribute to Evan Lacey, Van Lacey's son, that was slain. And I thought that was a very emotional game. I also thought that was a very good thing for everybody that had anything to do with that. You guys did a beautiful job in honoring Evan. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. You know, I don't know if the emotions were running so high, why the team might felt a little lethargic coming out the gate. DC jumped out to not a 21-0 lead quickly. You know, super rookie Kevin Say came out the gate just with his shoes on fire. You know, 23 carries, $185. You know what I'm saying? You can't catch me, boy. You know, but once LSG got their bearings, they were able to make it a game. And they had a 21-point burst of their own in the middle of the third where they took the lead. You know, I believe they were up 31-28 or 28. No, they were up 28-24. That's it. Mm-hmm. They were up 28-24. And at that point, that's when DC kind of, calmed back down, realized let's continue, down the way that got us the lead to begin with. And they started turning around and giving Kevin Say the ball again. And he got loose a couple more times. They able to score a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter to kind of ice the game away. So big ups to DC on their first W. Y'all face us this week. It's going to be a fun game. It's been fun sims and fun game planning. We'll see what comes of it. I believe our game is Sunday. So
that we will. Player of the game was halfback Kevin Say with 23 attempts for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 8 yards per carry. Now, start things off on Sunday. The Fort Worth Toros took on the Arizona Scorpions at Arizona Stadium, and Arizona won 20-13. It was a hard-fought battle. Passing for the Fort Worth Toros was 287. They had 50 yards rushing. Total, 337 yards. The time of possession was 20 minutes and 54 seconds with 1 mistake. Arizona had 263 yards passing, 158 yards rushing, 421 yards total. They held the ball for 23 minutes and 6 seconds with 2 interceptions by yours truly. Guess I just still like giving out souvenirs, but it wasn't like last week. Definitely wanted to utilize DJ Moses a little bit more to capitalize off that Fort Worth, because Fort Worth is not an easy team to beat, but we wanted to kind of change things up a bit because I'm sure that they were preparing for the pass. Everybody knows I love the pass. And so even still somebody else's team. But that's what we were doing. I think that was one of the reasons why we won the game. What say you?
It was a very good first half, which kind of dictated the second half for y'all a little bit, because getting that 17-6 lead early halftime, holding J-Dub in check. He only had 40 yards, I believe, for the game. He averaged 2.2 yards a carry. Great job. Great job getting DJ loose. Hey, go DJ. That's my DJ. Hey, go. You know what I'm saying? DJ got loose for $154. Got that touch in there. 6'6" and long. You know, DJ looked like he had some burners. He looked light on his feet. And a great job by Arizona's defense. You know, holding to Fort Worth to 33% on third down, which means y'all forcing punts and shortened possessions by them, which in turn allowed y'all to possess the ball more, to be able to turn, you know, for you to turn around, make your life easy. You know, you want to give it to somebody, give it to DJ. There you go. Just turn around, give it to DJ. Let DJ do his thing. Shortens the game up and prevents mistakes and forces the other team to kind of have to hurry their process by not being able to, for them to turn around as well, to give it to their back because they're down. So great game plan this week, and big ups to y'all for being over 500 for the first time, past the halfway point in Arizona history. Big ups to y'all. Hopefully I can keep it going.
Well, hey, we appreciate it, and I hope so too, man. That felt pretty good. Player of the game was running back DJ Moses with 27 attempts, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, and 24 reception yards. Second game of the night of Sunday was Sioux Falls Sparrows taking on the London Knights in Queensway. And Sioux Falls won 14-13, true nail biter. The passing for Sioux Falls was 192. They had 83 yards rushing and 275 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes and 48 seconds. And unfortunately, I did not get either one of this game's turnover count, but hopefully you got that one.
I got you.
Awesome. And then London Knights had 186 yards passing, 60 yards rushing for 246 yards, and they held the ball for 21 minutes and 7 seconds. So a pretty close matchup, what do you think?
It was a very close matchup. The final score leads you to believe that it was a nip-tuck game. You know, it was, you know, they were straight trading scores. That was not what occurred at all. Turnovers, you want to know? They each had 3 turnovers apiece. Both quarterbacks did. St. Louis had a 10-0 lead with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game, and then their defense got overly aggressive in trying to get after Jason Tyree, and he unleashed a 62-yard rainbow, you know, and then his receiver outraced the coverage to the end zone, which gave him their first touchdown of the game. And then a little further down, after fourth, you know, London got a field goal in, Sioux Falls gets the ball with seconds left on the clock, and he unleashes another rainbow. Prior to the 2 rainbows, let me rephrase that. Outside of the 2 rainbows, London held him to 81 yards passing. You said they had 193, correct?
Yes.
Outside of the 2 rainbows, he had 81 yards passing and 3 interceptions. So if it wasn't for them being overly aggressive in those 2 instances, London would probably have another one under their belt. But in being so aggressive, they allowed I won't say allowed. Sioux Falls snatched opportunity, and that's why they walked away with a 1-point victory out of there. Mind you, Sioux Falls defense balled out. You know, to hold the team to 13, to force 3 turnovers. You know, the other quarterback's uncomfortable. The other running back, I don't think he had a little more than 60 yards from 3.9 yards per carry. They did an awesome job defensively, but offensively, to be able to steal it late, as I was saying about Houston earlier, all you want is a chance in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? Your defense don't have to play great all the time. All you want is a chance in the fourth. And if I score 1 touchdown and I'm within a score with a chance to steal it late, that's all you need. That's what Sioux Falls did. That's 2 in a row for your Sioux Falls Sparrows. Don't look now, a Lone Star, because they're coming.
Player of the game was Gunnar Lewis, wide receiver. He had 2 receptions for 82 yards, 1 touchdown, and 41 yards per catch. That was a good one. I like that one. The 9th game of the week was the Baltimore Vultures taking on the Atlanta Swarm. And at the Hive, by the way. And Swarm won 41-31. Great game. Baltimore had 313 yards passing for 58 yards rushing with 371 yards total. Their time of possession was 19 minutes and 17 seconds with 4 mistakes. Atlanta had 289 yards passing, 89 yards rushing with 378 yards total. They held the ball for 24 minutes and 43 seconds with no mistakes. So it seems like the key for Atlanta winning this game was having no mistakes and being able to run the ball a little bit better than Baltimore. I think the key was not having any mistakes. Would you say so?
The key was BD3. I wish I had hair so I could do the hair flip for him. You know, I just love the earpiece. Can't lose the earpiece now. You know, you got more hair than me. I got whatever. So BD3 was the key. 87.9% completion, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, clean sheet, explosive offense all game long. They had 31-point burst between the second and third quarter that kind of allowed them to have a big lead enough so Baltimore couldn't have a chance to come back and steal it from them late. Also, we all know Baltimore is a greatly coached team. Mm-hmm. And to be able to force 4 turnovers from their quarterback is unheard of since season 9 Rastelli.
Ooh.
Love you, Rasty. So the fact that, Atlanta's defense, stepped up to the plate, was able to force their turnovers, and then Atlanta's offense, BD3, BDG, that's a BD backfield. To kind of to be able to take the opportunities given and turn those into points themselves. That is scary to think of if they're able to, continue this process. I'm glad I'm not on their schedule for the rest of the regular season because they look like they're going to be a headache and a half. Yeah. That's just me.
Clearly, because we got to deal with it. So don't worry. I ain't worried. Now, what I did notice is that there was not a player of the game that was mentioned for this particular game. So who would you give the game ball to? I'm going to let you do this.
I'm pretty sure it was Bryant Dynasty.
Okay.
With, 289, 87.9%, 3 touchdowns, no picks. I'm pretty sure he would have been it. He would have been the man. Hair flip man. That's right.
Oh, man. So the 10th game of the week was the Carolina Skyhawks taking on the Queen City Corsairs at Conpro Field. And Queen City won 27-20. Very close game. Carolina had 152 yards passing, 91 yards rushing, and 243 yards total. Their time of possession was 18 minutes and 25 seconds with 3 mistakes. Queen City Corsairs had 205 yards passing, 129 yards rushing, 334 yards passing. They held the ball for 24 minutes and 23 seconds with 1 mistake. So it looks like to me that the running game for the Queen City Corsairs and the passing game was on point. They were somewhat balanced there. They held the ball longer, so they were able to kind of capitalize off everything. And they only had 1 interception or 1 mistake. So what do you think?
Their defense, as I am a man of defense myself, their defense balled out. Knowing that Carolina loves to feature Logan Jack of all trades, and able to mitigate the damage he did in the running game, they held him under 100. I think he had less than 20 yards receiving as well. They took away Carolina's bread and butter. And forced Xander Gold to beat them, and he was not able to make enough plays happen to overcome that. Harish, their star receiver, was held under 100 as well. He had no touchdowns. So Queen City's back defense. Their pass defense allowed no touchdowns. They had 2 picks. They forced 4 sacks. Mm-hmm. That's a good day.
Yes, it is.
That's I'll take that right now for the rest of if my defense does that every game for the rest of the season, I'm sitting pretty. Like, don't screw it up. Just don't throw pick sixes. We're good, So, and then, as you said, Jet Zero he had a man's game. I understand there are women in the league. He put in yeoman's work. He put in yeoman's work. He had 30 carries, $132, 1 touchdown. I believe his longest run might have been 11 yards. So you know what that means? Nothing pretty, nothing fancy. He got the rock and moved people out of his way every time. He was a Mack truck. He was a bulldozer. Great job, Jet. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like when you look at a performance, that's a man's run. That was a man's game from Jet Zero. Congrats to you, sir. Hopefully you can keep it going.
Awesome. But Jet Zero was not the player of the game. It was tight end James Matthew Jr. with 5 receptions for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 30.2 yards per catch. Phenomenal performance. And the last game was San Diego Mavericks taking on the Las Vegas Fury at Silver State Stadium. And Las Vegas won 36-6. San Diego had 218 yards passing for 23 yards rushing, 241 yards total. Their time of possession was 17 minutes and 59 seconds with 2 mistakes. Las Vegas Fury had 195 yards passing, 220 yards rushing, 415 yards total. They held the ball for 25 minutes and 4 seconds with 1 mistake. So what do you think? What do you think happened with this game?
Las Vegas had a 23-3 run between the second and the third quarter, where Scott Johnson did his thug dizzle. 25 carries, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a long of 83. Like, Scott Johnson put on a performance. And conversely, San Diego's lack of run offense is proven to be problematic. I lost the earpiece. Is proven to be problematic, as it forces Javier Vasquez into way too many third and unmanageables, which in turn the defense, the D-line tees off because they know you're not running the ball to cover this. The DBs know they expect the pass, you know. So there's probably squatting back and knowing that, you know, these receivers are going to try to do double, triple moves, and they're expecting it. So they're not making their quarterback's jobs any easier by not being able to make it third and manageable. Your 3rd and 3s, your 3rd and 1s, maybe a couple 3rd 5s here and there, or even skip 3rd down altogether and go from 1st to 2nd. You know, but 3rd and 8, 3rd and 13, that's a quarterback's nightmare. And San Diego is facing a lot of those, and hopefully they can find a way to kind of create to input something in their offense to make 3rd downs a lot more easier and manageable for Javier Vasquez to convert. Got
it. And speaking of Mr. Scott Johnson, he was the player of the game. He's their halfback, and he 25 attempts, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 20 reception yards. So fantastic games, as we were speaking of earlier. Hashtag the drama is real. Wait,
we got one more.
Oh, I missed one. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on.
Bruh. You missed the game.
I did.
That's the game. That's the game Cam was on. That's the Cam game.
See, Cam is going to bring my neck. The last game, the very, very last game for Sunday was the Charleston Predators taking on the Los Angeles Vikings and at Full Moon Coliseum. And Charleston won 19-7. Wow. Passing for the Charleston Predators was 213 yards. They had 132 yards rushing for 345 yards total. Their time of possession was 27 minutes and 13 seconds with 1 mistake. LA had 189 yards passing, 41 yards rushing, 230 yards total. Their time of possession was 16 minutes and 47 seconds with 3 mistakes. So what happened to LA? It looked like they were going to do it.
This game was a great defensive ball game. Mm-hmm. Both defenses came to play. Bunch of hard hits all over the place. Charleston's defense came to lay the wood to anything and everything that moves that was not wearing black and white that night. So they came out with a point to prove. They shut down Robert Johnson. I believe he only finished with 41 yards, averaged like 2 yards a carry, something like that. They refused to allow him to do anything in the running game, which in turn forced Sully into the 3rd and unmanageables. We just spoke about San Diego, and in turn, you know, they had one great play, I believe, towards the end of the first quarter, where the receiver hit a double move on that corner, and he will peace out in 5,000.
Okay.
And it was just him in the end zone. And then, but besides that, the time required for the quarterback to be able to pull that and wait while the receiver is running doubles and triple moves, is facing third down when the defense knows you're throwing, when the D-line's hair is on fire, trying to defeat your offensive line is a recipe for disaster. And that's what it was the entire night for them. Third and long, throwing into coverage, not able to cover third downs. Charleston, the defense, big up to Charleston defense. They did their thing. They got 3 picks. Johnny Bravo, ball, I don't curse. So ball TF out, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that means. Like Johnny Bravo was a man of men right there. So big up to Charleston being able to pull that one out. I don't know who they play next week. I would say they better have their chin strapped on properly because they boys are coming to lay the wood.
Gotcha. We'll go over that in a second, actually. But the player of the game was, of course, halfback Keith Swearingen with 39 attempts, 135 yards, 1 touchdown, and 14 reception yards. So now, everybody, fantastic performances. The drama was real. And I'm sure as the weeks wind down for the season, it's going to be a lot more fantastic ball to watch. Speaking of which, we have week 8 picks. Now, the graphic that I'm going to show is probably going to be different from what we're actually going to talk about. So just refer to the graphic with the times and the streaming channels. I'll also have the links in the description so you can just click on there and go ahead and follow so you won't miss a minute of the action. You can also visit www.simulationfl.net for details on the games. You can look up team rosters, lots of other news, shop for apparel, all of that good stuff. All right. So we got Denver Nightwings taking on the San Diego Mavericks at Robert Hansen Field at Lee Archer Stadium. What do you think about this before I give you my picks? I
hope the Mavs take heed. I hope they have a chance to watch this before the game happens, and they're able to make, because they've been competitive so far this entire season. It's just one thing here, one thing there that's caused games to precipitate out of their favor, and I'm hoping they're able to do just a couple of tweaks here and there that will help them get to where they're trying to go, because they're on the precipice as well of able to get a win here or there, but there are certain things, there are little things, but things that they need to take care of to be able to remain competitive and able to still one down the line.
Gotcha. I am going to go with the Denver Nightwings on this one. I just think that they're on a roll right now. And, at any given sim day, things could happen. But I think Denver is going to take this win. The Florida Storm will be taking on the DC Dragons at Lord Destro Production Stadium. What do you think about this?
It's a battle of two explosive rookie backs, and also 2 veteran coaching staffs between, DC, where you got, Destro over there, Lord of the Dragons, and you got, my boy El Guapo Esteban running the offense and playing quarterback over there. It's gonna be a fun game so far. In my prep, it's been a lot of nip-tuck ball games, a lot of explosive plays from both backs, and then a lot of turnovers from quarterbacks trying to do too much. So it's going to be an interesting game. That's all I can say. Just DC is better than their record shows. They've been in every game down the line. Some games just haven't turned out in their favor, whether it was throwing in late interceptions or the other team being able to pull a play here or 2 late to be able to escape with a win. So we got our work cut out for us. Like you just said, any given sim day, we don't take anybody for granted. We know better. We just know better. Definitely.
And I think that you will will win on the road this game. I think Florida Storm will actually win this game. The Lone Star Glory will be taking on the Sioux Falls Sparrows at Liberty Park. And what do you think about this, first off?
After the emotional ball game that Lone Star played last week, there should be a little more even keeled for this coming ball game they got coming up against a now hot Sioux Falls Sparrows. That's won 2 in a row. Sioux Falls defense has been balling as of late. Period. Lone Star better stay on their P's and Q's and understand that fact. Because if they come in expecting a team, that's struggling to continue to struggle, they will be caught napping as well. And Sioux Falls might be walking out there with another win. So Lone Star got to come correct. Give their feature backs the ball so that way Ace has 30 manageables as well to be able to kind of pick his spots to where he wants to attack. Because those Sioux Falls might have been struggling this season. Their defense surely has not. And you don't want to play uphill against the Sparrows.
No.
Ever. Not just this season. Ever. I'm speaking from experience here. Okay? So there you go.
Awesome. I'm going to go with Sioux Falls on this one. I think because they are red hot, I think they're going to continue their win streak. But we'll see. The Arizona Scorpions will be taking on the Louisiana Revolution at Stack Up Stadium. What do you think?
Well, seeing that I got to speak to the leader of the Scorpions earlier this afternoon, he's told me after doing some prep work and some scouting, he's noticed that the Revs are a lot better than they've shown on the field. So he fully expects a one knockout, drag out brawl out there. And so if the Scorpions are able to keep Miss Jackson's interceptions down and continue to feature go DJ, yeah, that's my DJ Moses, in the running game, they'll be fair, but they gotta understand that Reggie Streeter is an explosion waiting to happen in and of himself. So I can't wait for that game because it's gonna be a fun one to watch. For y'all might have a little lemon booty over there in Arizona because it's going to be tight in the fourth for y'all. But I'm going to fully enjoy this one for myself.
It's going to be a great game. You cannot take any team for granted, especially this Louisiana team. But, of course, I'm going to go with the Arizona Scorpions. We're going to be at their stadium, and I say we're going to win. Let's see if I'm going to be right now. Queen City Corsairs will be taking on the Jacksonville Kings at the King's Lair again. So, what do you think?
The Kings are licking their wounds after the Legion came in there and kind of pushed them around a lot. So I don't see the Kings. The Kings aren't the type of team to just let a loss become 2 losses because they're of overcorrection. So I fully expect them to come with a prepared and composed squad. But if Queen City, the way they played D last week, there's gonna be another one of them games where it comes down to the wire, low scoring, 17-17 down the line. Who can make the play and not screw up to be able to walk out of there with a dub.
Great point. I think that Jacksonville is going to walk away with this win, though. I don't think it's going to be by much at all. But I just have a strange feeling that because they did lose this past week, they're going to come out strong and hot. So, yeah, I'm going with Jacksonville on this one. The Charleston Predators will be taking on the Vancouver Legion in Canada. What do you think?
See, Charleston's defense been for real. You know what I'm saying? Listen, TD Drew might turn the ball over a million times. Keith Swenger might be stifling the run game. But Charleston would come in there and D up. So, MVP hopeful Tom Bedford, the natural that running back, the plethora of weapons that that Pep's got out there to chuck the ball to. Johnny Bravo, Jack Brown, and and the rest of them boys they ain't playing that back there. So it's a great match of styles.
Yes.
Where Charleston's trying to keep it close. They're going to punch you in the mouth repeatedly. Vancouver is more like, we're going to pitch that boy all over the field. Catch us if you can. So it's going to be a great game to watch. It's another one of those. This must-see TV. This is one of them.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, this is a hard one. This is a very hard one to choose. But I think that is going to be Vancouver because they're at home. I don't know if they've actually lost at home this season yet. Charleston is really good though. They have Buchanan Simmons over there that they could easily go to. A lot of good things going on at Charleston, but I'm going to go with Vancouver. St. Louis Gladiators will be taking on the Mexico City Aztecs in Mexico City. So, what do you think about this? Ooh, that's going to be another.
St. Louis's defense is legitimate.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use that term. Is legitimate. Mexico City this season has shown to be highly explosive offensively. Just another battle of styles. And then now conversely, can Christian Brown remain clean in the stat sheet to allow his team to be able to pull it out late, especially since this game is on the road for them? It's on the road. It's at Mexico City. It's at Mexico City, right?
Yes.
Yeah, especially with this game being on the road, this young man got to remain composed, give his team a fighting chance in the fourth, so that way his defense has a chance to keep it close and give him a chance to pull it out as he has throughout most of this season. One possession game in the fourth, Christian Brown got a chance to pull it out and steal a win on the road. But he has to, for that to occur, he has to keep the sheet as clean as possible. If he starts to turn the ball over 2-3 times, they stand no chance.
Yeah, St. Louis has been balling out this season. This is probably the best that I think I've ever seen them play since I've been a member of the league since season 13. Whether they have the ability, of course, to beat anybody, but with this matchup, I'm thinking that Mexico City is going to wind up taking the win. I think that. I just have a feeling that is going to happen, and I'm trying to think of the word. I think that experience is going to be the winning factor for this game, and I don't think they're going to win by much, but I do believe that Mexico City will win. Carolina Skyhawks will be taking on the Baltimore Vultures at Vultures Field.
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh, this is the TJ game. TJ can't stand those Sky Rats. Oh, and Baltimore lost last week? Oh, man. Did Carolina be ready to throw the kitchen sink at Baltimore? Because Baltimore will be prepped and listen. Speaking as a former Baltimore staff member, Baltimore will come prepared, especially after what occurred last week to Atlanta, where the quarterback turned the ball over a lot. Believe me, adjustments already have been made. It's only Tuesday. Adjustments have been made in Baltimore already. So Carolina better be ready to find a way to feature their star players to give them a chance to hang around, because it might get ugly quickly if they don't.
Yeah, I think Baltimore is actually going to want to win this game either way. Now, let me just prerequisite this by saying this, guys. Just because I don't choose your team to win, that does not mean that I don't care about you. It doesn't mean that
she's a hater. She's a hater. I tell you, she's a hater.
Because I know some people, be in their feelings about things like that. I'm like, look, this is just my opinion. Don't like what I say, just prove me wrong, and I'll be happy to tell you I was wrong. That's it. I just feel like I have to put that disclaimer out there. Las Vegas Fury will be taking on the Fort Worth Toros in the Stockyards. What do you think?
If Vegas can continue Scott Johnson being this kind of productive and be able to then keep the downs manageable for their suits, for their rookie signal caller, then they'll be okay. But if this turns into a kind of passing contest, because they cannot run the ball, Fort Worth will trample Vegas. Because Fort Worth DBs, as you can attest,
yes,
are nothing to mess with. If Vegas is coming into this game thinking you can throw the ball 30, 35 times and walk out with a W, that's not happening. They got to find a way to feature Scott Johnson and kind of mitigate and manage what Colin Pierce does through the air. Because if not, if he has more than 30 passes, they lost the game.
Gotcha.
If he threw them all the ball, if by the end of the game his stat sheet says 30 or more passes, they lost the game to Fort Worth.
Got it. I think they're actually going to lose the game to Fort Worth, probably by about maybe 7 to 10 points. Especially since they're at home. So yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. But Vegas, come on. Prove me wrong. And it's crazy because I have Vegas members on a baseball team together. Don't get mad. Just prove me wrong, guys.
Yeah, they're gonna come at you now.
I know, right? They're gonna be in the locker room cussing me out. Now, LA will be the Los Angeles Vikings will be taking on the Atlanta Storm at the Hive. What do you think about that?
LA has to get Robert Johnson going. Now I believe he's top 2 or top 3 in the league in rushing yards. But when he struggles, they lose. Like it's almost a direct correlation. Because when he struggles, it's more on Sully, and then Sully presses, and then as he presses, he throws the ball into coverage, and it's everything's related. So they have to find a way to get Robert Johnson going consistently against this Atlanta defense. Because Atlanta is looking like they got the ball rolling.
Right.
And so though LA scores points in mass, they score points throwing, yes, but their running game allows them to be able to score those passing points because teams have to expect both. When I'm only expecting you to pass, it's easier to defend, which in turn makes, what I'm saying? So it's all related. So if they're able to run the ball, it's going to be a ball game. If they can't run the ball, Atlanta might run away with this one because, BD3, BDG, yeah, that's a combination in and of itself.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally agree. If LA, don't make those essential plays when it matters, then Atlanta will win. I'm actually choosing Atlanta Swarm to win this game. The London Knights will be taking on the Tulsa Desperados at Greenwood District Stadium. What do you think?
London played a great 42 minutes of game last week. They have to finish the games. Tulsa scored points in bunches last week. Their super rookie, JQ, he has to manage his turnovers, right? Because you don't want to be so scared to turn the ball over that you're not aggressive. Because when you're not aggressive, you don't score points. But you don't want to be reckless, right, in trying to score those points. Now, Tulsa had been the winners, I believe, of 3 straight prior to running into Mexico City. So I think they might have found the balance. They just ran into a veteran ball club, Hall of Fame quarterback, soon to be Hall of Fame running back, or fullback or whatever, and all that good stuff. So, in this game, if they could keep JQ from umpteenth turnovers, they'll have a great chance of getting this win. London, on the other hand, has to find a way to be more balanced. They cannot rely on Angus to win every game. They got to find a way to get their running game going some way to allow then Angus to have manageable downs and distances as well. I'm a stickler for managing down the distance. I don't like setting my quarterback up for second and third and forever. It doesn't make sense at all. And then you're mad at the quarterback. How can you be mad at the quarterback? You set him up. You literally set him up. Yeah, dog, it was an inside job. Yeah, it was. You set him up.
That's a good point. I'm actually going to go with the Tulsa Desperados on this one. I do think that if the weapons are utilized properly, I think they have exactly what it takes to take this win. Last game will be the Portland Fleet taking on the Houston Hyenas in Hyena Den Park Stadium. What do you think?
Ooh, the hot Hyenas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, the mom?
Yeah.
I see it, the mom. I see it, Shanna. The Hyenas over there doing their third bizzle. All right, now. You mess around with Portland. Zeke Love, super rookie back there with that explosive first step. That ridiculously opportunistic defense they got over there in Portland. You put that ball in the air as many times as they did last week and not, get Warren Murray going. Portland might walk in and then steal that. So it's Portland's interesting that their defense might not be a top defense in yards, stopping people wise. They get turnovers, like pick sixes.
Yeah.
So though their offense might not be the greatest and their defense might not be the greatest yardage wise, stopping folk, they stop folk by taking possessions away. And Houston has to be careful because E.T. King loves to throw the rock. Former MVP quarterback E.T. King loves to throw the rock all over the place. And you got to be careful with Portland that throwing it all over the place doesn't wind up throwing it to them. Because they'll take it. Like, ain't none of that. They don't do that. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, give me that. They throwing the rock. They're gonna take it now. So this is gonna be an interesting ball game to watch because of how Portland's defense plays.
Beautiful breakdown. I think that because Houston is on a roll the way they are, they've added Shan to the arsenal to be able to kind of take over that offense. I really think that Houston is actually going to walk away with this win. But like I said, we're going to see next week how it worked out. Very smart man.
That's why they play the game. That's why they play the game, right? The games aren't played on paper. They're not played here. They're played on the screen with pixels.
That's right. Noted. Very true. But all right, y'all. Stay tuned for my 4th and Go interview. Coming right up. Wait a minute. All right. And welcome back to my 4th and Go interview. Tonight's guest is Mr. Trellis Blanton. How you doing?
Good. All right. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and everybody, just a little backstory. He is the Albuquerque Adams new quarterback for this SFLM season, and he's also a crisis counselor. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to have someone that's a professional, to be able to be on the show and to give us his take on mental health and wellness and things of that nature. So again, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So, since this is your first time, I have to ask preliminary questions. So, what if Trellis is not your real name? What is your name, your age, your hometown, some interesting facts about yourself, and your favorite NFL team?
Well, I'm Trellis. I'm 35.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Mississippi. Something interesting about me is I used to play video games with my face, just using my face. That's what I was known for back several years ago, and then the past 3 years I haven't played any games. But that's an interesting fact about me is I used to play games professionally. Or at least try to, anyways.
That is nice. So with your face, so how are you able to work everything like that? Well, do you have a YouTube video, right?
Yes, I have a YouTube video that shows and explains the detail by detail how I do it.
Oh, nice. Well, give me the link. I'll make sure I put it in the description too. That'd be great.
All right. and my favorite NFL team actually would be the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. Well, you got a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans that are involved in the league, so you're gonna feel right at home.
Oh yeah.
All right. So tell me, how did you find out about us?
Randomly, actually, just on the internet browsing. I wanted to do something with like role playing, not necessarily role playing, more or less just finding a game that I can manage. Like you could be a manager instead of having to actually play the game, manage your players, etc., etc. and I came across this and found out it was more of a role playing kind of management thing. So I decided, this was like last year. I don't even remember what team I was on last year, but I was a fullback. I remember that much. But that's how I came across it and enjoyed it. And then I stepped away from it for a year, and then I came back to it here recently.
Okay, so what made you come back?
Had more time, more time to focus on it. A little more dedicated now than I was before.
Okay, got it. Totally understand. You know, life happens, so got to be able to come back when you can. But so have you ever played any sports, or have you been involved in sports?
Yes, I did an assistant coaching job at my old high school. Not like how you would see like a special for like special occasions, but I actually helped out with the special teams and some on the offense.
Oh, nice. Like game planning?
Yes.
Fantastic. So that kind of leads me to the next question. Do you plan on getting involved with the league in any other aspect besides being a player? Like, do you want to be a GM or coach or even an owner, or be on the stats team or broadcast?
I would like to work my way up to being an owner. That's something I really want to do, because I want to have my own team. Something I really look forward to doing.
Nice. Have you ever played All Pro 2K8 or?
No, I played Madden's, but never Pro 2K, and I never played 2K8 before.
Okay.
I like the functionality of it though.
Yes, it's changed. It's changed over since the time I've been here. The graphics has gotten better, more detailed, and that's one of my favorite things. Even the jarring back and forth between the players, all of that stuff is more pronounced now, and it's fun to watch. So, do you plan on? Go ahead. Were you going to add something to that?
No.
So, with you being an Adams member, the quarterback, the leader of the team, how did that conversation even come about? Like, did you approach them? Did they approach you?
More or less, I was just put on the team. Honestly, I just was. I paid my fee to get into the league or whatever, and next day I saw that I was the quarterback for the Albuquerque Adams. So I was like, well, that's interesting. So it's something I wanted to do. I like being quarterback. Quarterback's a key role.
Very much so. Yeah, it's really key, especially when you're doing good. It's all good. But when you're doing bad, you throw them interceptions like I do. You never.
Make you want to grow gray hair.
Listen, I got some already. It's in here somewhere. So tell me, how you have those people that want to give you the trash talk and adversity. How do you handle that? Because, like I was mentioning before, sometimes when you're throwing those interceptions or when your team isn't winning, people have a lot of stuff to say. How do you handle that?
Well, this is how I look at it, as you gotta play every down for what it is. You're not gonna win every game. You got another 10 teammates on the field. It's all about, teamwork, and when somebody wants to trash talk, I just look the other way. Mm-hmm. They got to be in the shoes to understand what it takes to be a star.
True. Do you remember what the first game you ever watched?
On SFL?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. Yes, but I can't remember the team names.
No worries.
But yeah, I do. It was a year ago actually when I watched the first time. That's another thing that caught my eye. Was how it was broadcasted and how everybody played out as if it was, being the real deal. And, to be honest with you, when you do progress your players, it is kind of like the real deal because you got control of your player.
That's true.
So,
and with that, do you plan on progressing your own player in Albuquerque, or are you going to work with the coach, or is it going to be a combination of both things?
Well, I'm definitely going to take what the coach suggests and work on that. But hopefully he'll give me the reins to progress in what I want to progress with at first. And if he sees some other things that need to be progressed, then yes, I'm all open ears to working along my coach to make things happen for the team.
Awesome. So is there a secondary position that, let's say if quarterbacks are not being taken in the SFL draft, is there a secondary position that you would like to play, or is quarterback your heart?
If I could play another position, probably be a wide receiver.
Okay.
Just because I got my guy at 6'4".
Yeah.
So he's a very tall wide receiver, and he weighs probably, I think, roughly 230 pounds. So
okay.
he's a big fella. And I've seen that here in the league. I can't remember what team it is. I remember his number is 44 or 45. He's a fullback, and he just runs like a running back, but he's huge.
And he's probably dragging people all the way down the field, too.
Oh, my goodness. I want him. I want him.
I can imagine that. So tell me, when you go through the whole draft process, what are you looking for in a team's locker room per se? Do you want them to be active? Do you want them to be kind of quiet? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Active. I love active. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you'll get to know your teammates and develop chemistry with them.
Okay, gotcha. And so what can teams expect from you?
We're going to win.
All right. Okay.
No doubt about it. We're going to win. We're gonna play the best of our ability on the field, and then off the field we can friendly banter each other for whatever I did bad on.
What kind of personality will you bring to the locker room?
Goofiness. Definitely. I like to be serious too, but you got to loosen up the guys. They're already focused and serious enough. Lighten them up a little bit, get them relaxed, let them know it's time to have fun too.
Okay. That sounds good, man. It sounds like you're going to be a great addition to someone's locker room. Definitely to the Adams, and I will be looking forward to seeing you play things out in the SFLM. So what are you looking forward to the most? Or I should say, what are some of your goals for being your first year in the SFL? Are you looking at kind of stat-wise? Are you going to be looking at kind of like making friends, or like what is your main goal?
Oh, want to make friends.
Yeah.
Boys can't have too many of those. So, or you can't have enough of those. I'm sorry. You can't have enough of those. Not too many.
I know what you meant. But okay, so let's touch a little bit on your job as a crisis counselor. How did you actually get into that field?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I got in trouble and had to do it as a community service. And it made me want to. I loved helping people before, but it really opened the right door for me when I found this.
Oh, nice. You getting in trouble? No, I can't see that. Somebody had to set you up, honey. I know. No.
No, my stupidity.
Well, at least you learn from it, and you're actually you picked a good job to go into, because that means you're going to be helping people with their issues.
Yeah, and a good thing is it's volunteer work too. You don't get paid for this, so I do it on my own time. You can fluctuate your own hours. You can take a long break or you take a short break. They're not really they don't pressure you to do a 5 days a week, 40-hour a week. You do it at your own pace. And here in the last 6 months, I've taken a break. I've had some numerous things happen while doing the job. It takes a big toll on you, and you got to worry about your mental health as well. Because if you're not mentally well, then you can't help the person that needs it. Needs it probably way more. So I've taken the last 6 months off. I'm gonna get back into it, but it's gonna be a slow process.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can imagine that would take a toll on you, because you are listening to other people's issues and you're trying to help, and sometimes that can be kind of a traumatic thing. And I was wondering, and I'm sure you've had many different experiences doing this, but what are some positive things that you have helped people through, or what have been some positive outcomes from the things that you actually helped people through?
I've had some people write some feedbacks back that said that if it wasn't for him, or wasn't for whoever they were talking to, which was me, that they don't know where they would be at right now, what mindset they'd be in, or just the fact that he was a great listener. He didn't press anything on me. He didn't, tell me where I did wrong. He just listened, and that's mainly what they want is listening. And that's the best thing about being a crisis counselor. It's not always about talking. It's a lot about listening.
Gotcha. So what are some of the things that you do to kind of de-stress yourself from that situation?
Well, I used to play video games, but now I watch TV shows. More or less found the SFL. That's something I found. That's a good de-stressor. But other than that, it's just hanging out with some of my best friends that I have online that I talk to day to day.
Nice. So with you talking to different people and handling different situations, what is more common in the people that you talk to? Is it from depression? Is it from mental illness? Is it from bullying? What are some of the common cases that you find?
I wish I would have known that you were going to ask that question, because I could actually have given you the personal stat of what my sheet is. If I'm not badly mistaken, I would say that out of the 60-something hours that I've done, personally, I've probably had about 67% probably has been depression. That's if I'm not badly mistaken, I think it's about 67 to 72% depression. So, and the rest of it's more or less mental illness.
Got it. So do you think that 67% comes from COVID, as far as like being locked up and just can't go anywhere and can't do anything?
Well, this was more related to before COVID started. I haven't done anything since COVID started. Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, I've done a few, but not enough to be statistically, put into statistics.
Okay. No worries. So what is your favorite part about helping people? Like what do you get out of this?
The joy of knowing that I helped somebody. The joy of just knowing that I was there for that person. It makes I just have a big heart.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell you're a really good person. You to talk to and to, you know, to lend advice and things like that. You can kind of read that on people. So that's really
I
good.
try.
Do you have any future aspirations? Do you want to do anything besides being a crisis counselor?
I want to become a criminal psychologist.
Oh, okay. So I see you on True TV, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to school for it. I'm going to school for it right now. You're never too old to go to school.
That's right. That is right. And 35 is not old. I mean, I'm 36, so no, you know. Okay.
So, my friends make fun of my age all the time because they're younger than me. So.
So is that an easy course to take, or is it something that it's like a little bit difficult? Certain things.
It's difficult. Definitely have learned some pretty interesting stories. Got to, I guess, more or less get into minds, where you do different papers on different people, different criminals and whatnot, and you kind of get a vision of what their life was like, and then you compare it to the rest of the classes, people they did it on, and it's pretty interesting what the common basis for mental illness is. A lot of it starts at a very, very young age. It happens anywhere between the time of, you can be from 3 years old till you're 10. For the most part that comes for teenagers is by what goes on in the home. And that's where a lot of the mental illness that I have personally seen has come from, what has been going on at home, other than being bullied or something like that. But bullying is more or less, I don't know how just bullying is a disease. It's just something that people do to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
Or to get somebody's attention. But if we could be more in control of what goes on in our households, in today's society, I think that we as a whole would be a lot better people, because as you can see, it's way different now than it was 50, 60 years ago.
Definitely.
Just the way the children respect their parents, the way they respect their elders, just everything in general to that, So
why do you think people are reluctant to come to ask for help? Do you think it's because they're afraid? Do you think it's because they don't know that they need the help? What do you think?
A lot of them are afraid. A lot of them, they want to seek help, and then they decide against it. And they think that their problems aren't as important as somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that from a personal standpoint, in my own time of being in a depressed stage and being depressed and having that type of stuff, is that I was afraid to reach out. And it was, it was too late for me. I became an adult and lived with it, and then it became PTSD. But I've learned to deal with it and gotten the right doctors to help give me the right medicines to get past that now. So.
Do you think that medicines are necessary, or do you think that maybe it could be a lifestyle change, or maybe it could be something else that could be done without medicines?
Well, the only other way that I personally know how to deal with it is taking it to God.
Yeah.
that's, for if you have any type of religious aspects about you, taking it to God, praying about it, getting around a church group, surrounding yourself with positivity also helps out with that as well.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why I do like this league a whole lot, is because there are a lot of positive people here, and it's never really a dull moment. If you're ever feeling lonely, or if you're ever feeling like, oh man, and just had a hard day, just jump in the chat, jump into your locker room, jump into the chat, and just, let people know what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a positive feedback on that, or even somebody just saying, hey, I'm sorry you had a bad day, but hopefully everything gets better. And what I've noticed is that sometimes people just want to be acknowledged. That Phil Collins song always resonates with me. Another Day in Paradise, where there's this man that's walking down the street, but he's ignoring this woman that's calling out for help and just needs some help, And a lot of times people just want you to see them. Don't walk past me like you don't, just see me for the human that I am. And when you do that, it's like karma. It comes back to you. You never know. It's just a simple hello, a simple hug, can work wonders for somebody.
Hello could go a far ways. People don't realize that one word could be a crucial point in somebody's life. Just a simple hello.
Yeah, very true. So what are some places that you recommend for people that are dealing with mental health issues, the PTSD, the abuses, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, domestic violence, things of that nature? What do you?
I would hope that each individual county has a counseling or some type of counseling center or an emergency clinic that they can all go to or call during any source of the hours. I don't know how it is in smaller, in bigger places. I know in smaller places, they're open 24 hours. Mm-hmm. If you need help, unless you're going to an actual counseling office, and that's only open on the weekdays. But if you can go to like a trauma center, where somebody can actually be there to help you, then they have that at least within 100 miles of where I live at, anyways.
Okay. Because I noticed, when I did my mental health podcast last week, I put up a whole bunch of different links to national organizations, and I was wondering, are they available when it's something national? Are they available 24 hours usually, or is it still like the Monday through Friday kind of thing that you know?
That I know of, most of them are 24 hours a day.
Nice. Okay. Wanted to make sure I was getting.
Yeah, you're getting it from the right place. I wish I'd known that you were asking that question, because I could have also got the right equipment to give you the special links as well that I'm equipped with.
Great. And guess what? It's not too late. All you have to do is send it to me, and I'll make sure I put it in the description. So everybody check the descriptions of this video, and you'll be able to see all the links that we're discussing. You get to see the links that he's going to put up as well. And just don't be afraid to ask for help. And you're here for us too, right?
Always. I'm just one message away.
There you go. And I thank you for reaching out to me on this too, and I thought it was an interesting topic, because in our league, we have a lot of people that come from different walks of life, that come from different backgrounds, that come from different experiences. We have a lot of soldiers. We have a lot of retired people. We have a lot of young people. So everybody is going through their own thing. And it's really good to be able to come to a community like this. And even, you come in, make a few friends, but you realize through hearing stories from people how somebody could possibly help you, so this is awesome.
Yes, it is. It's good to be able to reach out. let people know, even in small places like this, so you know that, hey, there's people here for you.
Definitely. And you got to realize you got a friend in Georgia. You just made a friend in Georgia. So I'm here for you whenever you need me.
All right. Well, that's how you made a friend in Mississippi.
There you go. I love it. I love it. So before I let you go, two things. What is some advice that you would give to just in general about mental health, about wellness, about like what is one message that you want to leave with everybody?
The hardest step is the first step in confronting any type of issue, whether it be mental illness, depression. That's always going to be the first hardest step to take, especially at a later age. But know that you have the staff, you have people around you, that people that you wouldn't even think of that support you, people that you wouldn't think that, oh, well, I didn't know that person really thought about me. You know, I get that a lot. I've gotten that a lot. I'll be like, why would you think about me? Like, I'm just another normal person. But the main advice that I would give to somebody is it's never too late to ask for help. And even though it's scary, and even though you don't know what the road ahead of you lies, but if you take it one day at a time, with the right people, things will work out for the best.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, but I cannot let you leave without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or that can be a simple shout out. Right now, the floor is yours.
I want to go with a quote. Okay. My favorite quote, and I'm not going to mess it up this time. Live life as if you were to die tomorrow, and learn as if you were to live forever.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And I memorized that in my best friend's front yard as it was a stepping stone.
That's wonderful. And to you, what does that quote mean?
That you're never too old to learn. And exactly what it says, learn. Knowledge is fruitful. You're never too old. You're never too old to learn. That's just basically all what it boils down to. You're never too old to learn, and live life like you want it the first time. You know, don't have past regrets. Do it the way you want to the first time, and let the path lead you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Trellis. It's a pleasure to meet you. I cannot wait to have you on the show again sometime. Maybe we can break down some of these games together because I love co-op.
Oh, that would be great. I love that.
Perfect. Well, I will definitely keep you in mind for next time. But thanks again, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I can't wait to see you on the field. That's coming up very soon, too.
Oh, yeah. Not long from now. I can't wait.
No, not at all. All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right, everybody. That is it. I want to thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. Special thanks goes out to my guest, Trellis Blanton. Forgive me if I said your name wrong, please. I'm so sorry. And Mr. Max Paul, you okay over there?
Oh, I'm good. I'm here.
All right, cool. Thank you, especially for being on the show tonight, being my co-host. You're welcome to come back whenever you want to do this again. It was fun. You have any last words for the people out there?
Come on, I didn't have to. BDC, baby! Oh, hold up. BDC, baby! I got you!
That didn't work out. You tried. That's a E for effort. Oh yeah, man. Good luck to you, man. I'm really glad to do the show with you. And everybody, remember, stay safe, treat each other well. Striker